Over 45% of teens suffer from a mental disorder, and 1 in 5 teens suffer from a severe mental illness. That's 20% of our teen population. Mental illnesses are brain function disorders. They have many causes and result from complex interactions between a person's genes and their environment.
My name is Ashton Lee. I go by the pronouns he, him. Mental health, to me, is obviously a very serious subject. I know a lot of different people who struggle with mental health, and I'm one of those people. So it's basically someone's well-being that can express itself in very different ways. Some people can have very bad mental health, some people can have quite good mental health. No one's perfect, but it's a very serious subject. Depression, I think, can express itself in very different ways. I have very close people to me who are suffering depression, and it can be from someone having a low mood every now and then to people with eating disorders and sleep lack of, and anger issues, and a lot of different things can factor into it. It's one of the most important mental health conditions that I know of people personally, and I'm personally going to get tested for it and battling possibly with it myself. So. I, at the moment, am struggling with ADHD, anxiety, OCD, and I'm being tested for a couple of other things such as depression. I personally cope with mental health in very different ways. I have quite a few mental conditions that need extra help. For example, in college, I'll need someone there with me to help me with regular things, such as doing my work on time, things like that. I personally find it very difficult to cope with my mental health, and I know it's the same for a lot of people that I know, but it definitely can be done as long as you get the right help that you need and talk to professionals. For me personally, I don't use social media that often, but it's so upsetting to see how many people, both that I do know and don't know, who develop mental health conditions or get worse mental health conditions through social media, just by seeing some fake life that somebody posted, thinking that it's so perfect and that they need to be like that person. People trying to make themselves skinnier or gain weight, or people trying to make themselves a certain way just for other people's views. And with social media being so big recently, it certainly doesn't help that all of these influencers are presenting a perfect life which everyone knows they don't have. I personally think it's very important to talk to the right people about your mental health, and to talk to people who will understand and help you, and maybe don't talk to those people who might not be as close to you and who might make fun of you for it or might make it worse. When I was younger, I used to talk to my mental health a lot about it to this particular friend group who ended up not being very good, and that made it quite bad. But now I'm older and more mature, and I've spoken to family members and doctors about it, and currently a counsellor, which is helping a lot. I would say just take any advice that you get from someone who you trust. So if you tell your parents or if you tell a doctor and they recommend going on medication or trying out different routines, different exercises, do it, because in the long run, if it's going to help you, it's worth it. It might take some time, but we're all going to be okay eventually. ADHD is my biggest kind of barricade when it comes to doing everyday things. I've definitely got the more hyperactive side of ADHD, so when it comes to simple things such as doing my room, I'll get sidetracked by a lot of different things, or I'll pick up something and start doing something else. Can't multitask that well, so something as simple as tidying my room can turn into a 3-hour gaming session with my friend, and then my room is still a mess. I think LGBTQ plus youth deserves a lot more respect and rights than we already have, because we get a lot less healthcare rights and a lot less respect from other people, which makes it much more difficult in learning environments, professional medical environments, and home environments. Not everyone has a perfect life at home, and it definitely makes it harder when you fit in a category that is a minority, such as LGBTQ people. And it's very important that we take care of LGBT youth, especially because we don't get as much care as other people, and people normally look down on us. So our mental health is usually, from my personal experiences and people I've known, people I know who are in the LGBTQ community suffer with a lot more mental health than people who are not. And I think that part of that reason is because people don't pay enough attention.
Kelly Walsh. Her, she. I am the designated safeguarding advisor for Bracknell College. Lots of different things, so no one day is really the same. So some days could be more focused on mental health. So I could have days where, you know, students come in with high anxiety, especially this time of year because of exams, high anxiety, and just need somebody to talk to kind of steady those anxious thoughts and be able to get back into class and carry on. Obviously, as my job title says, I'm a designated safeguarding advisor. So any safeguarding concerns that come in from staff, so staff can refer students into me if they've disclosed something worrying or concerning. I also work with social workers, family workers, and lots of external sort of organisations, like children's social care and the police and people like that. Yeah. It's really rewarding because you get to see, a lot of the time you get to see a young person on their journey. So they could start at the beginning of an academic year and they could be really anxious, really worried about starting college, being here, unsure of whether they've picked the right course for themselves, all that kind of stuff. And then you see their journey through the year and they succeed. So it can be really rewarding. Yeah, so it's really important when you're supporting other people is that you look after yourself. So you don't try and take too much on yourself. Like obviously mentally wise, you have to make sure that you don't store it up too much. So I speak with my line manager. If I've had something that's really difficult, I can give her a call and we'll talk it through. She'll reassure me that, you know, I've either done the right thing or give me guidance on to maybe what I could have done slightly differently, or and just let me talk it out so that I've not just letting it sit in my head. It's having that opportunity to make sure that you talk things through rather than try and take it on and keep it on board yourself. It's really difficult because some people that have mental health difficulties are not at a point where they're ready to have support and help. So everybody has to be in the right mindset and space to be ready to accept help. Otherwise, it doesn't really have the best positive effect. So I think it's really important that somebody is in the right mindset, and then when they're in the right mindset, I think that there is a lot of support available. It's not always through the normal routes, so it's not always through the NHS, the GPs. There's lots of other routes through into support. So I think there is a lot of support, but it's finding the right kind of support for that person at that time. I think that's the bit that can be a bit tricky. When it comes to low self-esteem, body image, confidence, I think it has a massive impact, huge impact. Somebody that believes what they see on social media is real is very difficult to undo in someone's sort of like mind. So if they've seen a picture of someone that's, 2 weeks ago was really overweight, and then this week they're like, 2 weeks later they're they've lost 4 stone and they've dropped however many dress sizes. Not taking into account the likelihood is that it's all completely photoshopped. It's not real. It's not happened. It's that continual just reaffirming that it's the whole body image thing is a problem. Do you know what? Does that make sense? It's that's a big issue at the minute, I feel, for boys and girls, males and females, trans as well. It's body image is huge. So it's really difficult to find that right level in terms of support for those kind of people, because they're on social media all the time. They're there and they're accessing it, so that's constantly reaffirming their own thoughts, whereas you're trying to kind of break those thoughts down a little bit to let them see actually what is real. So that's 100% social media is a contributing factor to a lot of people's struggles.